Hello, I'm Allison Ferroli, the Emergency Manager for the City of Grand Rapids. So we are in September, and September is National Preparedness Month. With that, National Preparedness Month is really for us to be more prepared for any type of natural, man-made, or technological disasters that can impact our community. This is also a good time for us to know that we are prepared for small disasters like house fires and long-term power outages. So today we're going to take some time and talk about what goes into our emergency kit to be more prepared. So for your emergency kit, really find any bag or bin that you want to use that works best for all the items you need. Here I have just a little backpack. Again, this is just for myself, but making sure that you have an item that you can put all your supplies in and then storing it in a place that's easily accessible. So here we have all the different things that should be in your emergency kit. First things first are obviously food and water. So here I have a bottle of water. So for water, it's really good to have at least 1 gallon of water per person per day and have enough supplies to last for about 3 days. Also outside of water is making sure that you have food. So non-perishable food is really important to have. So those are things that don't need to be refrigerated or cooked necessarily or in the freezer. So here I have a can of beans. I also have a can of sardines and some other snacks and gum. To go with that, we also have a can opener, a manual can opener. Anytime you have canned goods, you're most likely not going to have a flip top on that. You're going to need to use a can opener to open that. So with food and water, highly recommend that you rotate those items out every 6 months. So making sure that those items stay fresh for you to consume if necessary. Also, if you lose power, you're going to need to make sure that you have sufficient light in your home. So here we also have a little lantern that fits well, that can light up a room. You can also have a regular flashlight. Here I have a little emergency candle. And then obviously with anything that uses batteries, making sure you have backup batteries to go with those items that use batteries. So you may also think, well, I can just use candles. Have candles in my emergency kit. Candles are a great source of lighting, but don't necessarily always recommend them because those are still a hazard in your home. We still want to be cognizant to make sure that we are not creating additional hazards to our home when we are obviously already going through another emergency that's impacting us. Another great item that's really important in our kit is going to have a battery-operated radio. Here I have an AM/FM basic little radio that takes batteries so that I can listen to the radio to get information and news. Also, really recommend getting an all-weather radio to where it connects to the National Weather Service weather radio system to where you can get some weather reports. Again, communication is key when it comes to building outside of our water and our food supplies. Make sure we have the tools to communicate appropriately. We are very reliant on our cell phones today. So it's good to have an extra charger. And then also I have a car adapter here. So your vehicle, if you have a vehicle, is another great way to keep your cell phones and your laptops are charged. So it's really good to make sure you have backup charging mechanisms for that as well. But what if we lose power for an extended period of time? You're not going to be able to charge your cell phone. So therefore, you need an actual landline general telephone. This is, again, an old school tool that you may think, I don't need one of those, we don't use those anymore. But again, having a landline telephone that doesn't require electricity to operate is really good to have in your kit. So here, you just pull this out, you have a phone jack in your home, you can easily plug it in, and you can still call for help through 911. It's also important to take some time and go through our cell phones where we keep all of our phone numbers and contact information and actually write down an address and telephone book. This is something that we don't necessarily do all the time anymore. But again, like I said, if you are heavily reliant on your cell phone and don't memorize phone numbers anymore, it's really good to have this tool so that you can manually go and get information. Also, very important to have any copies of important documents. So that would be any insurance documents, medical forms, any type of banking information, things like that you would need to have on hand to take with you if you have to leave your home. Also, outside of any of those documents, it's really good to have copies of your prescription medication that you take. You may not be able to get additional medication to put into your emergency kit, but it's good to know what medication you take so that if you're in a shelter or in a new community or dealing with medical providers that are not your everyday medical providers, you can tell them exactly what you are taking. And then also some other products for yourself, if that's toiletries, feminine products, and other items to keep yourself comfortable during an emergency. So making sure you have a toothbrush, toothpaste, some deodorant, and maybe some showering supplies in case you do go to a location that has a shower. Making sure you have some additional toilet paper in your kit is always important as well. You just never know when you may need it. It's also a great use as a tissue and other ways of using toilet paper. Also, do you have pets? Have supplies for your pets. Have food and water for them, have an extra leash, have vet information, other supplies that they may want, so a carrier or a harness, some toys. If you have children, making sure that you have the appropriate supplies for your children as well. Do you have any infants or babies? Have extra formula, extra bottle, diapers, baby wipes. And then also have some type of mechanism to write notes down, to journal, to entertain yourself. So I have a crossword puzzle here as well. Some playing cards, a puzzle maybe for yourself or for your children or grandkids. So anything to entertain yourself, because again, maybe in a situation where we're out of power for an extended period of time and want to keep ourselves busy. Also have a first aid kit here. So a first aid kit is great in case there's any minor injuries in your household from that emergency, or just you need to make sure you have that on hand to deal with those small injuries that you may come across. We also have some duct tape here. Duct tape is obviously a tool that's great for multiple things, so always have a little bit of roll of duct tape in your backpack or in your go kit. Have some pliers or a wrench or a tool that you can possibly use if you have utilities that you may, like gas, you may want to turn off before you leave your home. These are great tools to use, or have the appropriate tools to be able to do that. We also have matches here. So matches are a great thing to have. Again, if you are using candles, if you are using a camping stove to cook food that is outside into an outdoor environment, don't ever use that inside a home, but making sure you have those for if you ever need to utilize a match for something. So a couple new things that I've added to our kit here today that we may not have thought about before the impacts of COVID-19 is making sure that you have additional masks to go with you in case you do have to evacuate. Again, as you see, I'm wearing a mask because we are in the middle of a pandemic. And so it's really good to have extra masks in your go kit to keep yourself safe and your family safe. Also having some hand sanitizer right now to keep your hands clean. If you can find some, and making sure you have some additional sanitation wipes in your go kit as well, so you can wipe anything down. And then also I have a bottle of Lysol here as well to help disinfect things if you can find extra to keep in your kit. If you need more information about building in a kit, ready.gov is a great resource to go and to print out a list of items to build that kit for you. Overall, it is really good, again, for the month of September to take time, add those items to your grocery list, and make sure that you are building a kit to be more prepared for the next emergency. Thank you.